Welcome to our spine-chilling journey into the darkest corners of haunted crime scenes, places where the veil between our world and the spectral realm is ripped wide open. I'm Zach Bagans, and today, we're uncovering the top 5 secrets of places where crimes occurred and spirits linger. These aren't just cold cases, they're portals into the heart of paranormal unrest, where the echoes of violence and despair reverberate through time. Get ready because we're about to step into the shadows, and trust me, you don't want to go there alone. We begin in Amityville, New York, at 112 Ocean Avenue, a house forever scarred by a horrifying massacre. This seemingly ordinary suburban home hides a dark and sinister past that has captivated and terrified people for decades. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family in their sleep, claiming demonic voices drove him to it. The gruesome act left 6 people dead, his parents and 4 siblings. The chilling details of the crime shocked the nation and left an indelible mark on the house. But the horror didn't end there. The house seemed to retain the dark energy of the tragedy, as if the very walls absorbed the terror and bloodshed. A year later, the Lutz family moved in, only to flee in terror after 28 days, driven out by unexplained phenomena. Their experiences included terrifying encounters that defied rational explanation. Cold spots, foul odors, disembodied voices, and other eerie occurrences plagued the Lutz family. They reported feeling an oppressive presence that seemed to watch their every move, and even a demonic apparition in the form of a young boy with glowing yellow eyes. This sinister figure was seen by multiple family members, adding to the growing sense of dread. George Lutz, the father, claimed to have woken up every night at 3:15 a.m., the exact time of the DeFeo murders. This eerie coincidence only deepened the family's fear and unease. Some say the house itself is a conduit for evil, a place where malevolent forces are drawn and amplified. The dark energy seems to linger, affecting anyone who dares to enter. A place where the energy of the murders somehow seeped into the very foundation, trapping the souls of the victims in the demonic entity that possessed Ronald. The house at 112 Ocean Avenue remains a chilling reminder of the horrors that unfolded within its walls, a legacy of blood and terror that continues to haunt all who hear its story. Our next stop takes us to Fall River, Massachusetts, to the home where one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries unfolded. This quaint town, known for its rich history and picturesque landscapes, hides a dark secret within its borders. In 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were brutally murdered with an axe. The crime scene was gruesome, with blood splattered across the walls and floors, leaving an indelible mark on the town's history. Their daughter Lizzie was the prime suspect but was acquitted due to lack of evidence. The trial captivated the nation, with newspapers and tabloids speculating on every detail, yet the truth remained elusive. The house has since become a bed and breakfast, but guests report chilling encounters. Visitors often speak of an eerie presence that seems to linger in the air, as if the house itself remembers the horrors that took place. Footsteps creaking in the dead of night, disembodied whispers, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. These experiences have left many guests questioning the nature of the paranormal. Some have even reported cold spots and sudden drops in temperature, adding to the house's eerie reputation. The feeling of being watched is almost palpable, as if unseen eyes are following your every move. Some guests claim to have seen apparitions of Andrew and Abby, still bearing the wounds of their gruesome demise. These ghostly figures are said to wander the halls, forever trapped in the moment of their violent end. Could it be the Bordens' restless spirits, seeking justice or perhaps trying to tell their side of the story? Or are they simply unable to move on, bound to the place where their lives were so brutally taken? Or is it something more sinister, something that drove Lizzie to commit the unthinkable? The mystery remains, as the whispers of the past continue to haunt this old Victorian house, leaving us to wonder what truly happened on that fateful day. Chapter 3, Villisca Echoes of Slaughter in the Iowa Night. We venture deep into the heartland of America, to the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa. Here, in 1912, an unimaginable horror befell the Moore family. Josiah, Sarah, their 4 children, and 2 young guests were found bludgeoned to death in their beds. The murder weapon, an axe, was found leaning against the wall. The case remains unsolved, shrouded in mystery and speculation. investigators have reported strange occurrences within the house, cold spots, unexplained noises, and even the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. Some believe the spirits of the Moore family, unable to find peace, still roam the halls, seeking answers to their tragic end. Chapter 4. The LaLaurie Mansion, Tortured Souls in the Heart of New Orleans. Our journey takes us to the French Quarter of New Orleans, to a mansion steeped in darkness and despair. Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a prominent socialite, hid a gruesome secret behind her charming facade. In 1834, a fire exposed her attic, revealing a chamber of horrors. Inside, authorities found slaves subjected to unspeakable torture, some chained to walls, others mutilated beyond recognition. LaLaurie escaped justice, fleeing the city, but the spirits of her victims are said to remain trapped within the mansion's walls. Visitors and residents have reported blood-curdling screams, the rattling of chains, and apparitions of the tortured souls seeking retribution for their suffering. Chapter 5. The Winchester Mystery House, Trapped in a Labyrinth of Spirits. Our final destination brings us to San Jose, California, to the Winchester Mystery House, a sprawling mansion with a dark and twisted history. This architectural enigma has fascinated and terrified visitors for over a century, drawing in those curious about its mysterious origins and the eerie tales that surround it. Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune, was plagued by guilt and fear after the death of her husband and child. She was a woman tormented by the belief that she was cursed by the spirits of those who had fallen victim to the very rifles that had made her family wealthy. Believing she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, she embarked on a bizarre construction project that lasted 38 years, building a house with no architectural plan, filled with dead ends, secret passages, and staircases leading nowhere. The construction was continuous, with workers laboring day and night, adding rooms and hallways in a seemingly haphazard manner. It's said that Sarah built the house to confuse and appease the spirits, trapping them within its labyrinthine walls. The mansion became a physical manifestation of her inner turmoil, a place where the living and the dead could coexist in a state of perpetual confusion. Today, visitors report strange occurrences, disembodied voices, doors slamming shut on their own, and the feeling of being constantly watched. The house has become a hotspot for paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers alike, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. Some even claim to have encountered the apparition of Sarah Winchester herself, still wandering the halls of her bizarre and unsettling creation. Her ghostly presence is said to be a reminder of the sorrow and guilt that drove her to build this architectural oddity, a labyrinth where the line between the living and the dead is forever blurred. Thank you for joining us on this eerie exploration of haunted crime scenes. We've journeyed into the heart of darkness, where the echoes of tragedy and the whispers of the dead linger in the air. But remember, this is just a glimpse into the vast and terrifying world of the paranormal. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling content. Until next time, stay curious, and don't get caught in the dark.